Nate Bargatze, the Be Funny Tour.
I mean, Chuck E. Cheese is rough. I don't know if you've been there in a while. They look like they're trying to go to business and they can't.
All new material.
They filed for bankruptcy and they're still open. They called Blockbuster and they're like, how do you get out? We want out.
Nate Bargatze. Friday, May 31st, FedEx Forum. Tickets available at FedEx Forum box office or Ticketmaster.com. Produced by Outback Presents Nate Bargatze, the Be Funny Tour.
Let's talk about MVPs.
Let's do it. I went with the Joker.
Oh my God,
Nikola
Nikola freaking Jokic.
Every time I watch him play, I am so impressed.
I'm obsessed with him.
Yeah.
Everything he does works. He can pass, he can shoot, he can rebound, he can drive, he can defend. Like, he can do everything.
He can lead the fast break, and he's like 7-1.
IMHO with Lang Whitaker and me, Kelsey Wright Johnson, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
This week, we're looking at our favorite black sitcoms. Mike, what do you got on your list?
It starts off with A Different World,
Okay.
the show that we're talking about.
I don't know. When's the last time you watched A Different World? Find it, watch it with the family. It is a phenomenal show, still to this day.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
From the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right, I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish. I'm speaking to you from the Built Ford Tough studio, FedEx Forum, downtown Memphis. Bennett Doyle's right there producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you've been listening to Big Bet Bennett, because he's been trying to tell you for a long time now. Since the beginning of the season, I think even before. He's been trying to tell you about these Minnesota Timberwolves. He spotted them early. He saw their potential. And now they're just 2 more wins away from advancing to the Western Conference Finals, because they beat the Denver Nuggets brains in last night, and they did it in Denver. It was a blowout. No Rudy Gobert, no problem. We'll talk about it momentarily. First, so quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. In the next segment, about 20 minutes, Chris Vernon going to join me. He, of course, is the host of the Chris Vernon Show, also host of the Mismatch podcast. Already sat down late last night and recapped what happened in the NBA last night. I'll talk to him about all things association. Chris Vernon going to be here in about 20 minutes. When I finish talking to Vernon, I'll take a break, come back. That's when we'll do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories, among them John Calipari. You remember John Calipari?
I know Coach Cal.
Yeah, he's now in Arkansas, weird as that sounds, and he's got them, the Razorbacks, back in the top 25-1. They got a commitment yesterday from the son of a former University of Memphis player. That's the latest great development for the Hogs. We'll talk Arkansas basketball. We'll do it in about 40 minutes. Shedeur Sanders would have been the number 1 overall pick of the 2024 NFL draft had he been in it. Selected above Caleb Williams. That's what one NFL evaluator told the Washington Post. Do we believe him? I'll ask Bennett in about 40 minutes. There was a shooting overnight at Drake's house in Toronto.
Whoa.
That's scary, isn't it? Like
Always.
That's like a real-life shooting, like somebody shot. There's police tape right now. Bennett, look at me. There's police tape right now on Drake's front door. Police have confirmed Drake is not the injured person. It is someone who works on Drake's security team. But what are they doing shooting people at Drake's house now?
Is there dots to be connected?
It's been a rough week for Drake. Can we agree on that at least?
Yes.
If we can't agree on anything else in this country, can we agree that it's been a rough go for Drake? I'll get you updated on this situation. We'll do that in the third segment. Shohei Ohtani killed a baseball last night. Sounded like a shotgun. That's what the announcer said. We'll show it to you a little later on in the show. And we've got a real-life Dateline episode unfolding in South Carolina.
Ooh.
I mean, buddy.
Back to South Carolina we go.
I thought that too.
Uh-huh.
What
What's
are they
going on in the waters in South Carolina?
What are they always doing in South Carolina?
I don't know, man.
That's where the Murdals were?
Yep.
And now, I got one for you. Pastor has a young bride.
Oh, boy.
She's dead now. Okay?
Yep.
She had recently filed for divorce. She had recently told her sister, if I end up shot in the head, understand it's my estranged husband who did this to me.
Okay, then.
She ended up shot in the head. She's dead. And investigators have initially ruled it a suicide. So this dude's just still preaching on Sundays. And the woman's family says, she told us you were going to do this. What do you think? There's a lot going on. We'll discuss it in great detail during 5 more things you need to know. Then we'll eventually do GP's carry out and we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to. But I did want to start with the 2024 NBA playoffs because we are now – Ben, and I don't know if you're keeping track.
I wasn't.
But we're now 17 full days into the 2024
Damn.
NBA playoffs.
Feels like it was yesterday.
It does feel like it was yesterday, but it wasn't. It was like 17 of those. It's been a minute. 17 full days now in the book. We started – this is the way the playoffs work in the NBA. We started with 16 teams. We're now down to 8. And believe it or not, we could be down to 7 by Sunday night if the Nuggets don't figure out what to do with the Timberwolves. Because, buddy, woo!
Yeah.
They're in trouble. Yeah, the Knicks beat the Pacers last night, 121-117. Jalen Brunson had 43 points. He was 14 of 26 from the field. He was 14 of 14 from the free throw line. He was amazing. And New York benefited from, I guess, some questionable calls and no calls down the stretch. That seems like a big topic of discussion today. Either way, none of it matters. This is what matters. The Knicks are up 1-0. Congrats to them. But the story of the night was obviously what happened in Denver. Final score, Timberwolves 106, Nuggets 80. Denver scored 20 or fewer points in 3 of the 4 quarters, only scored 15 in the second. They trailed by 8 after 1 quarter, by 26 at the half. Minnesota didn't have Rudy Gobert. Wasn't a problem. He was spending time with his family, celebrating the birth of his first son.
Oh, nice.
Congratulations to the Goberts.
Congrats to the Goberts.
Minnesota still holds Denver to 34.9% shooting from the field, only allowed them to score 80 points. Denver finished with 16 assists, 16 turnovers. Jamal Murray, dreadful. He took 18 shots, missed 15 of them. 8 points, 4 turnovers, threw a heating bag onto the court. That could lead to punishment of some kind. Bennett, how surprised are you, even as the person who's been at the forefront of the Minnesota Timberwolves train, driving it all season, still you must have been surprised on some level to see them without Rudy Gobert do what they did to Denver last night in Ball Arena.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I obviously thought it was going to be a competitive series, but nobody saw this coming. I mean, holding them to 80 points in Denver is insane. That's the reigning champs with the best player in the world with a great offense, and to hold them to 80 in their building, that's crazy.
People spotted it. First off, the defense has been there all season. It has ratcheted up in terms of intensity, and you saw it in that first round series. I think you could even find it on the morning after one of those Minnesota wins over Phoenix. We're discussing the game, and I'm just talking about this very specific possession, a Phoenix offensive possession. And Phoenix is swinging the ball to here, to here, to here. It is the classic make the extra pass, get the open look, except they kept making the extra pass literally all around the court. And the open look was never there. Minnesota was recovering on everything, scrambling at an extremely high level. They've already got incredible athletes and incredible length. Like Anthony Edwards is 6'6". Jaden McDaniels is long. They've already got the length. Obviously, when you're dealing with Gobert and Towns at the same time. Gobert not there last night. It really didn't matter. I'm not saying he doesn't matter, but Minnesota was still connected in every way on the defensive end. And you could start to see it in that Phoenix series. I mean, you could see it during the regular season, but it ratcheted up. And then last night, it was just more of the same. Denver had problems like getting into offense.
Yeah.
Like everything was very difficult for them. They just completely overwhelmed them in a way that then led to frustration that boiled over. And, buddy, when you get incredible athletes to buy in the way that they're buying in, like that's the good stuff. And so what we're watching right now is a Minnesota team that clearly won enough games in the regular season where you had to take them seriously, but still some people were like, they're not the Nuggets, relax. Well, then they sweep Phoenix away, win game 1. Anthony Edwards is having his star turn. And he was really good again last night, but it's not like he went for 40 again.
Right.
And they dominated him from the opening tip. And now we've gone from, is Minnesota for real? Can Minnesota really do this? To they're now projected to do it. Do you know who the favorite is to win the Western Conference now?
Oh, it's got to be them.
It is them.
Yep.
I mean, they're massive favorites now in this series. Nothing's over till it's over. I got it. But
it feels over.
I mean, you're up 2-0. You're going back home. Jamal Murray's not himself. And you get Rudy Gobert back for game 3. Glad Minnesota won last night. Just independent of everything else, I like Minnesota. I like watching Mike Conley have this moment.
Yeah.
I love Anthony Edwards. Like, clearly. Like, you know what? If the Grizzlies ever meet them in the playoffs, I want them to sweep them right out of the thing. F Minnesota. But given that that's not what we're dealing with right now,
right,
I enjoy this Minnesota team. I enjoy watching something that people said, this isn't going to work, you idiots. What are you doing? And now it's working. That's what they said. They said, what do people?
That's what they said.
What are you doing? Trading for what are you going out and getting Rudy Gobert to try playing with Karl Anthony Towns? This ain't gonna work.
Everyone crushed that.
What do you think? It's 1985 again? It's working. And so I like everything about this Minnesota story. I want them to win independent of anything else, especially glad that they won last night, because you know what we would be talking about right now had they lost last night. You know what everybody would be talking about right now. It would be a debate on television and podcast and radio, and it would be a stupid debate, but it wouldn't stop it from happening. You know what we'd be talking about right now if Minnesota would have lost last night, and instead of going home up 2-0, they were going home 1-1.
Should Rudy Gobert have gone and witnessed the birth of his child?
That's all we'd be talking about.
Right.
That's all we'd be talking about. And it would be a dumb conversation.
Well, should he?
Here's the thing. Here's the truth. You ready? Here's my honest to God answer. You cannot criticize a man for choosing his family over work. That's what he's doing. All right?
Yeah.
You can if you want to. I'm not going to stop you. I'm just saying it will never end the way you want it to end. You'll get called a caveman and sexist and all sorts of different things, right? So you just can't do it. Like if you decided to wake up today and express extreme disappointment in Rudy Gobert because he was with his fiance and his first son last night as opposed to with the Minnesota Timberwolves, like it will not end well for you. Like if you're just, if you're comfortable with people thinking you're a caveman, then that's fine, but that's where you'll end up. So I would never criticize Rudy Gobert for not being there last night, and you will not be able to criticize Rudy Gobert for not being there last night without getting pushed back pretty intensely.
I agree.
All right, now you ready for this? I would play. I would have been there. Now, I should, for the sake of this conversation, it's not crystal clear that he just decided I'm not going to be there. There was high wind problems, and there is some. Like they looked into
there was a pilot that was like posting stuff on Twitter apparently saying we're gonna make it.
There was some thought that he would try to make it, but once there reached a time in the day where if we're gonna go, we got to go now, and you can't go now because there's wind problems. So it appears that maybe it got to a point where he was seriously considering trying to get there, or even like on the verge of like getting there, and then weather derailed that plan. So he missed game 2 of the Western Conference semifinals. But if they would have lost, people would have criticized
him for this. Some people would have. And I don't think that would have been fair. But if I'm being completely honest with you, if it were possible for me to experience the birth of my son and then shortly thereafter leave and get to Denver to play a basketball game, that is, I think, what I would have done. I would not, if my fiance is still waiting to deliver, I do not leave. I stay there. I'm going to be there for that moment. But having been in the delivery room for lots of babies at this point, I can tell you that once that baby is in this world and baby's healthy and mama's healthy, if we're being honest, Bennett, you could back me up on this and disagree. After that, there ain't a whole lot you can do. You're kind of just sitting there.
It's a lot of sitting.
It's a lot of sitting.
Yep.
It's a lot of sitting. So there's no scenario where I leave before I experience the birth of my child. But if you told me, GP, here's the deal. We're going to get this baby at 9 a.m. We can have you on a plane at noon and get you to Denver in time for tip-off, I'd say let's do that.
Let's roll.
And you know why? Because I would be so scared of what would happen if we lose this game and then we lose this series. I wouldn't want to have to live with that regret, that wonder, that what if forever. If I'd have been there, could we have won that game? And if we'd have won that game, could we have won that series? And if we won that series, would we have won a championship? I don't want to have to. I wouldn't want to sit around 15 years from now and I got Minnesota Timberwolves fans going, you remember back in 24, we were up 1-0, and then Rudy couldn't get back to Denver. And, like, you just had to play that what if, not just with the fans, but with yourself. That's why I would have tried to play. And again, I should be clear. It's not obvious that he didn't try to play, that he didn't make the same decision that I would have made. But that would have been my decision. I would never criticize Rudy Gobert for choosing to stay where he was if he did, in fact, make that decision. But if I were him, I would have said, if we've got this baby and everybody's healthy and it's still possible for me to get there, I'm going to get there and play basketball tonight.
I mean, in fairness, he's used to, like, the entire league hating him anyway.
Everybody hates him anyway.
So, like, whatever.
Yeah. Everybody
do whatever you want.
It doesn't matter. People are going to hate you no matter what.
Add it to the list.
People are going to call you a B no matter what.
Right.
But all indications are mama's healthy,
good,
baby's healthy, and Rudy Gobert will be back in uniform in time for Game 3, where the Timberwolves, barring a surprise, because they're favored in the game.
Oh, dude, this is done.
You think it's done?
Oh, yes.
Bennett says the Nuggets are done.
They got the clamps on Denver. 80 points at home.
I saw that, Bennett. I saw that myself.
Without the Defensive Player of the Year.
I saw it myself. I saw it with my own eyes.
Yeah, man.
And by the way, and I want to ask Chris Vernon about this, and he's probably the worst person to ask about this because he hates Rudy Gobert more than most of us.
Yep.
All right? It is like between Vernon and Gobert, that's like a Kendrick Drake thing. All right? I'm surprised Vernon ain't called Rudy Gobert a pedophile, if we're being honest.
I mean, I'm not a big fan either, but I got it.
So yesterday we were talking about Magic Johnson at the age of 20 winning a finals MVP, and I sort of pointed out how crazy it was to think about. Like, we all just sort of accept that Magic Johnson was amazing and the Lakers, the Showtime Lakers, were a thing. But, like, the idea that he won a national championship in college in 1979 and then was a finals MVP a year later, like, that's not something we even consider possible. And there was some pushback in the chat. I saw it, some pushback in the chat. Like, GP, but he was playing with multiple Hall of Famers, Magic Johnson.
Yeah, he had Kareem,
Yeah, and he joined an awesome team. And some of that's true. Some of it's overstated. He was playing with Hall of Famers. That's true, obviously. The Lakers, the year before Magic got there, finished 5th in the West. All right? So, like, he joined, whatever.
Yeah,
that's what
I
he
got
joined.
it.
Here's what a point I'm trying to make. Are you sure Anthony Edwards isn't also playing with multiple future Hall of Famers?
Ooh. Interesting.
Because that was the point. Well, yeah, of course you could be finals MVP that young if you happen to be playing with older guys who are future Hall of Famers. Are we sure Anthony Edwards isn't the young star who is also playing with multiple future Hall of Famers? I ain't ready to put nobody in anything yet, but, like, it's not crazy to think that one day, 20 years from now, whenever, Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns could both be in the Hall of Fame. They could both.
Well, how many Defensive Player of the Years does Rudy have? 2?
I think 3.
3?
I think 3.
Well, then go ahead and put him in the Hall of Fame. Damn.
At some point, what the Basketball Hall of Fame does is it like, if you make X amount of All-Star games and X amount of whatevers, like, you just get in.
I mean, Karl Towns hasn't won anything.
Gobert right now is a 3-time All-Star and a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year.
I mean, that's pretty damn good.
And he might be about to be a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. Karl Anthony Towns.
I mean, he's going to go down as one of the best defenders ever.
Karl Anthony
right.
Towns
ain't
1-0. I'm fine with that, all right? But remember, this is the Basketball Hall of Fame. It's not the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame. So you know what's going to take into account? He was the number 1 ranked high school player in the when he entered college. He was on a 38-1 college team that played in the Final Four, and he's already a 4-time NBA All-Star at the age of 28.
I think he needs a little more to that resume.
Of course, they both do. Yeah. I'm just saying it ain't crazy.
I agree.
We could one day look back. It's a little bit like, think about this. You look when Villanova was winning national championships, or even Virginia when it won its national championship. People would in real time look at those teams and go, "Yeah, but where are the pros?" You look back on them now, you're like, "Well, there's all the pros.
They all play for the Knicks.
They all play for the Knicks."
Yeah, right.
Okay, you could look back on the 2024 Minnesota Timberwolves. And this is what you could say one day. I don't guess we really realized it at the time, but like Anthony Edwards was like becoming an all-time great, and he had 2 other Hall of Famers with him. I don't think that's the craziest thing in the world.
Maybe 1.
Maybe.
Not 2.
Maybe not. We'll see.
But he does have a team full of veterans that have, well, besides Gobert, all those guys have been together for a while now, and it's clearly clicking. I agree with that.
It's clicked?
Yeah.
It's clicked. It's clicked. I'm a fan.
I'm jealous.
Bad week for Canadians, too. You know what I'm saying? First Drake, then Jamal Murray.
Week for Canada. Yikes.
They was calling Jay McDaniels Kendrick Lamar last night.
They got Shea tonight, though. They got Shea tonight. He can save the country.
They need Shea Gilgeous-Alexander to save the country.
Yeah.
Country's going through it right now. I mean,
he's their hope.
Between Drake and Jamal Murray,
yep,
they really need Shea Gilgeous-Alexander to come through.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yep.
Chris Vernon in here next.
Hey Grizzlies fans, turn your stadium excitement into betting action at Southland Casino Hotel. As a proud sponsor of the Memphis Grizzlies, Southland brings you more gaming action than ever before. Step onto our massive casino floor stretching more than 2.5 football fields. Slot enthusiasts can enjoy more than 2,300 machines from penny slots to high limits and play the hottest games like Aristocrat, Dollar Storm, Cloverlink, and Lightning Cash. Table game aficionados can feel the thrill of the felt with 50 live table games. From 3-card to blackjack match, we're ready to deal you in. Plus, don't miss stadium gaming for an interactive digital experience. And for high rollers, our high limit room is calling your name. Go big on 6 high limit blackjack tables or spin one of our 54 high stakes slot machines. Throw in 8 delicious dining options and a 300-room high-rise hotel, and there's plenty to keep you going. At Southland Casino Hotel, the gaming excitement never stops.
Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700. Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Don't Worry, Be Fluffy World Tour.
The minute you get into a brand new relationship, like magic, you know who really notices just how happy you are, guys? Other women, not your woman. Look how happy he is. I bet I can change that.
Friday, May 10th, FedEx Forum. Get your tickets now at fluffyguy.com. Don't miss a Memphis Don't Worry, Be Fluffy World Tour.
Life Care Ambulance is proud to be an official partner of the Memphis Grizzlies and FedEx Forum. At Life Care, they wear their hearts with pride. Their passion is their people. They want you to love what you do and where you do it. Their employee-driven culture encourages a healthy work-life balance and supportive work environment. They invest in your success and well-being so that you can provide the best care for the patients that they serve. Join the incredible team of EMTs and paramedics in Memphis, Nashville, and across the nation today. Learn more at lifecareamb.com.
This is an actual good shoe.
Yeah, it looks like
this
a good
is
shoe.
a real good shoe.
What you think about him, KJ?
She likes Cheetos.
Like Cheetos?
Yeah,
You
or
like
nay?
Cheetos?
You like Cheetos?
For kids, yeah or nay?
That's what I mean. For kids,
For
1,000%.
kids, yeah.
And honestly, if I was still playing basketball, I played in brightly colored shoes. I wore pink shoes a lot of the time or purple shoes. Like, I like that. The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. We're in the Built Ford Tough studio on Tuesdays in the second segment. I'm joined by Chris Vernon, host of the Chris Vernon Show, Grind City Media, also host of the Mismatch podcast. I listened to that this morning. Roy Hibbert just catching strays in the middle of a podcast.
Sorry.
That's my guy.
Sorry.
That's my guy. Roy Hibbert catching strays in the middle of a Mismatch podcast.
Well, I had to. I mean, he's talking about, how does LeBron James get to the finals every single year? It's like, all right, come on, slow down. How? He had to get past Roy Hibbert. That's how.
I mean, it's a fair point. It's a fair point.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. All right, help me here.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the chat likes Bennett more than they like me anyway. I've been dealing with that for a year now. All right, I've been dealing with that.
It's not an unreasonable position.
I know. I'm not arguing. I'm just acknowledging.
Love y'all.
The chat loves Bennett.
Yeah, this dude. Oh, go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you finish.
Okay. The chat loves Bennett. I've accepted that. All right. I'm dealing with that. I've accepted that. But they're getting especially hostile this morning, and I think Devin Walker is leading the charge in there.
Okay.
All right. So I made the point yesterday that if Anthony Edwards, it sounds not as crazy today as it sounded yesterday, but if the Timberwolves do just go on and win a championship and Anthony Edwards is a finals MVP, he would be the youngest finals MVP ever not named Magic Johnson, slightly younger than Kawhi Leonard. All right?
Can we slow down?
I know.
We're in the second round.
I'm looking ahead.
Oh, my God.
I'm trying to get out in front of this stuff.
Bro, we live in a town where John Morant was averaging 40 against the Golden State Warriors through 3 games.
That was fun, wasn't it?
It was great.
That was a good time. So, just for the sake of, I realize it's early, but if he were to do it, listen to stuff. If we could compare him to Michael Jordan already, we could talk about maybe winning a championship. And so then the chat pops up, mostly Devin, and he's like, yeah, but Magic joined an awesome team, the Lakers. The Lakers finished 5th in the West the year before Magic Johnson got there.
Why?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay, well, that does matter.
Okay, yeah, but I ain't got that kind of time. Devin can look it up.
You want me to turn into Bill Walton? Magic never won a thing without Kareem.
Okay, well,
it's true.
He won at Michigan State.
I mean, in the NBA.
Okay, here's the point. Immediately, they were like, they joined the Lakers. Stop. Well, Lakers finished 5th in the West the year before. And he had multiple Hall of Famers on his team. And which is true. And here's the point I made. And that was Devin again, pushing back. I said, not now. It's early. Nobody is Kareem. Nobody is worthy. But it ain't crazy to me. In 20 years, you could look back at 2024 Minnesota and go, oh, yeah, that's the year Anthony Edwards was breaking out. And he had multiple Hall of Famers on his team, too, still in their primes. Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert. I'm not putting either one of them in the Hall of Fame today. I'm just saying, based on who is already in the Hall of Fame and where their career trajectories are right now, both of them are very reasonable candidates to someday get there.
I suppose it's a possibility.
And that's all I'm saying. It's a possibility.
You might want to get past the first round of the playoffs more often than they have.
I'm not betting my mortgage.
You know what I mean? I think this is Gobert. I think it's the first time we've seen him in the second round in 10 years.
That's fine, but
well, I guess no.
Some of this stuff does just come down to your resume. Gobert's already a 3-time All-Star. He's about to be a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year.
There ain't a lot of 3-time All-Stars in the Hall of Fame, brother.
But there are lots of 4-time All-Stars in the Hall of Fame.
There are?
I mean, I can give you I can give you some names right now.
I mean,
there was
without titles.
Okay, so I had him right here. Mitch Richmond is a 6-time All-Star. Six is more than 4. Okay, I got Mo Cheeks 4. Mo Cheeks.
Mo Cheeks is the point guard of the '83 Sixers, right?
Okay, right. He won a championship, but he's a 4-time All-Star.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 4. That's 4.
All right.
If Mo Cheeks can get in with 4 All-Star games, Rudy Gobert could get there with 4.
Well, I mean, we would also have to look at where Mo Cheeks stood within like the steals leaders and all of his accomplishments at the end of his career in after it ended.
Do you believe Rudy Gobert is about to be the Defensive Player of the Year?
I do think he will win it.
That'll be 4.
Okay.
Only 2 other men have both won 4.
Mm-hmm.
It's Ben Wallace and Dikembe.
Yep.
They're both in.
Yep.
I'm not arguing.
Possible.
I'm just saying
it is a
it's possible.
possibility.
That's all. That's all I'm saying. It's possible.
But we can freely admit it's not on the level of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar
I
and
admitted
James
that.
Worthy.
I admitted it before I even told you what we were talking about.
All right.
I admitted that before I even told you we were talking. I'm just saying
those are all-time greats with 5 titles.
And
so it's not the same.
I didn't say it was the same. I'm just saying the whole argument yesterday was like, yeah, but he did that at that age because he had multiple Hall of Famers. And I'm just saying it is possible, not even probable, although it might be probable, but it's certainly possible that when we look back on this whole thing, you go, oh, wow, they were actually more talented than we maybe realized in real time. We do this with college basketball teams all the time. Like you watch somebody, even UConn this season, in the middle of the season, people would still say things like, I don't know if they're as talented as last season. I don't know, where are the NBA players?
Right.
And you know what looks like now? All 5 of them are going to get drafted if they're all 5 in the draft. That might be going on with Minnesota right now. We might not realize. We could be watching this team that just took a 2-0 lead. It's actually a team that took a 2-0 lead on Denver with 3 future Hall of Famers at the centerpiece of it.
It's possible.
Right. That's all. That's all.
They got a long, long way to go.
Of course.
They got a long way to go.
Of course.
I mean, you're going to have to beat probably Luka, in my opinion, and then you're going to have to get past Boston.
That's right. But they, based on current projections, they are now favored to make the NBA Finals. Some of it because they're already up 2-0, and Oklahoma City and Dallas going to have to fight each other, maybe to 6 or 7 games. But they are currently the favorite to win.
Not ready to completely bury Denver yet.
But that was troubling.
But
that was troubling last night. They got overwhelmed, and Jamal Murray looks hurt and frustrated.
Absolutely. Right. No, they lost all composure last night, and their coach lost all composure as well. Any other team I'd say that's done, there's part of me that thinks they can split in Minnesota and win 5, so that would give us a game 6
back in
Minnesota,
right.
And then it's like, okay. But also the reality of the situation is, are they really going to beat that team 4 out of 5 games? And the answer is probably not.
Does it mean something to you that
they were mauled? Because
I heard you talking about this, and it's exactly right. I mean, all common sense last night suggested Denver perhaps in a blowout.
Sure.
You've already stolen game 1. You're going back home at worst with home court advantage. Rudy Gobert's not there, and yet Minnesota just came out and stomped them from the jump. Here's my point. Against Phoenix, it was kind of similar in the sense that, hey, you've won 2, and they just never took their foot off the gas. They just never. Does that mean something to you?
Yeah.
They might not be the type that takes the foot off.
Totally possible. I also think, and I always talk about there's reasons and there's excuses. I do think it is a legitimate reason. Like, you sit there and you go, why did that happen last night? Now, one option is obviously Minnesota's just way better, and they are perfectly equipped to be able to make them look horrible and stymie them completely. There is another reason, which I think there's probably a lot of truth to it, which is, I've covered a lot of NBA playoff series, and I do think that one of the things that happens is you go, and that first game was a close game, okay? And you go back and you look at all that game film, and then Denver sits there and goes, all right, when they do this, this is how we're attacking it. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. And then they showed up, and Rudy Gobert's not there.
Right.
And I do think that threw a massive wrench, especially in the Gordon element, especially in how they probably thought we're going into this game and attacking. They look up, and it's Kyle Anderson, and it's 5 wide, and it's not Rudy Gobert. I think it screws you up on both ends. That is not an excuse for them. But what I am saying is, if we're looking for, why would a team that theoretically made adjustments to look better look so much worse? And I do think that was a wrench in things, because he is a very, very significant player to game plan against, and he's just not there.
Right.
And now it's Kyle.
But I hear you. On the other counterpoint would be this is high stakes professional basketball. If I knew If I knew there's a chance Rudy Gobert's not going to be there.
You didn't until yesterday.
Yeah, but we knew yesterday.
But that's at noon.
You can, that's it's a lot of time.
From noon until?
For professionals?
And we still didn't know until it was game time.
But you knew there was a chance.
But what am I going to do? Okay, here's what we're going to do if Rudy's there. Here's what we're going to, I mean, buddy, you've gone to shoot around and you've run through everything. You've done the practice the day before and you've run through everything. This is what we're going to do.
I know, we just spent a whole series talking about these guys have played 1,000 games together and they all know each other. It just seems like you could sit down for 30 minutes and talk.
Have you ever seen them that screwed up?
No.
They had no idea where to go with the ball.
Right, but I think
I think there was an element to it.
Perhaps an element to it. I just sort of resist the idea that, oh my God, they had no idea what to do. Like this is professional.
They were a mess.
They were a mess.
They were a mess.
They were a mess. But
I've never seen them look like that. Ever.
No. How much of it is Jamal Murray's just not okay?
No question.
Right.
I mean, or look, and we can give him the excuse of being hurt. He's getting swallowed up. Swallowed up.
He's
he
little
can't
out
do
there.
anything.
Right.
It's like people could sit there and they could go, well, Brandon Ingram was banged up. Like Brandon Ingram was in jail against Lou Dort. Like, do you think that Jamal Murray was, couldn't see daylight with Alexander Walker and McDaniels all over him, not fouling him, just all over because he's hurt? No, man, he couldn't see daylight because these guys are on top of him.
There were moments where it looked like you got a high major team with size playing against.
You know what it looked like? You're going to love this. Last night, the one game, and you will relate to this the most, the one game I thought of while that was playing out in that first quarter was Baylor Gonzaga.
Yeah. And it was obvious
and
from the
it
jump.
was like, oh my God, they can't do anything.
You saw it within the opening minutes.
It's like you got Davion Mitchell is like,
well,
you're breathing the guy.
I talked to Mark Few about this one time, and he was like, if you remember, Baylor and Gonzaga were supposed to play like in December in South Dakota that year. And it got canceled like right before tip-off because COVID popped and whatever. And Mark said, I wish more than anything we would have played that game because we would have felt that in that game, and then we would have known what to expect. He said we just weren't ready for that. He said
no chance.
He said they're doing starting lineups, and remember we're in a building that's mostly empty. It's still COVID stuff.
Yeah.
He said, I looked across the court and they were doing starting lineup introductions, and Davion Mitchell was just staring at us like he wanted to kill us. He's like, he said
they were foaming at the mouth.
He said we thought we were going to play a basketball game, and they thought they were coming to a fight.
And that's exactly what happened last night.
Right. And he said if we would have felt that in South Dakota, then we'd have been ready for the fight. We weren't ready for the fight, and once we were in the fight, it was over. And that's what happened last night.
And that's why it was like when you saw them get punched in the mouth, I tweeted this out last night, you can either punch in the mouth back,
right,
or you could sit there and look at the ref and go, they're punching us in the mouth.
Right.
It's like they didn't have anything to do with it. I mean, they were just – everything about that was an abject disaster. And it was over quick.
Right.
And then, you know what, their response in the third quarter, just bury them even more.
Right.
And then, they were just walking around with a swagger, and it was like
That's the thing
We
that would
own
concern
you.
me if I'm Denver is that they don't look happy to be here or surprised to be here. They think they're better than you.
When they lost all composure.
Right.
Their coach is in the middle of the court. I don't know how he didn't get a tech, but their coach is in the middle of the court, rightfully so, because Mark Davis is terrible. But he's furious. Jamal Murray's throwing a heating pack.
Is anything going to come of that?
I think so.
On one hand, it should, but on the other hand, are you just...
I think what he'll say is, I didn't mean to. I was, that was a mistake.
That's
how he'll get out of it. He'll get fined, but he's not going to get suspended.
Right.
He's not going to get suspended for that high stakes of a game. And he'll say, I was pumping my fist and it flew out. I mean, you can get away with probably saying you didn't mean to do it.
Yeah, my kid said the same thing with a Roman Reigns action figure that put a hole in the wall. I didn't mean to do it.
Come on.
You didn't mean to throw a wrestling action figure into the wall. It slipped out of your hand.
The last thing I heard before I parked and walked over here, I could not believe the one time I would ever side with Rudy Gobert, he's on the other side.
No. I'm not on the other side. I was very clear.
You were.
No, I'm not.
You were.
No, I would never.
No, you
never.
were.
I'm telling you what I would do.
I know. And you're straddling the fence.
I'm not straddling the fence.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
Because you care what people think so much. You really do.
I would not be able
to. The first thing was, you can't say this because of what people will think about you, because they'll think you're a Neanderthal.
No, but I genuinely believe that. I would feel unworthy of questioning another parent how they handle that situation.
But then on the other hand, you said you would play.
I said I would play.
Well, it's the same thing.
No, it's not.
Come on.
I
mean, you're not criticizing him, but you are saying I would do this.
Yes.
What he is not doing.
Yeah, but I can apply that same logic to all aspects of my life. Like there are things that, let's just say Bennett would do that I would say. I wouldn't judge Bennett for that, but I wouldn't personally do what Bennett did.
But the reason you said you wouldn't do it, or that you would play, is because of what people would think.
No. That's not what I said. What I said was, if you are trying to make the point, like you're going to come down on Rudy Gobert for not being there last night, just understand that point will not land the way you think it's going to land. You're going to meet resistance with it. That's not why I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't say it because I don't believe it. I don't believe I am worthy or in a position to question another parent how they would handle that situation. I don't feel like it's any of my business. I wouldn't feel appropriate weighing in on that.
You said you would do it because what people would think of you.
No.
If you missed the game.
Let me clarify.
I wouldn't want fans for the rest of their life to say.
I also said I wouldn't want myself to deal with the what if and the wonder. I would deal with it. I would struggle with that.
You would rather deal with the what if. What if I would have been in my child's birth?
You're just misquoting me over and over again. I never said I would skip.
Play the tape, Bennett.
Play the tape.
Am I misquoting him?
Bennett, what did I say?
I think you said that.
I said I would be at the birth.
You said you would be there.
I would not leave it. But if there was a way to experience the birth of my child and then say 2 hours later, jump on a private plane and make it to Denver in time for tip-off, that is what I would have done. Yes.
But what if that's not an option?
Then it's not an option. I can't do it. I was very clear about all this. I would know.
You've had too many kids. You just want to get away.
I would under
for sure wanted to get away.
I would under no circumstances.
Do you think the birth of child is overrated? See?
I mean,
ooh, here we go.
I mean, kind of.
See, this is where we break ways.
I mean, kind of.
That was honestly the most I don't know how you felt. That was the most emotional I think I've ever been in my life. I'm not kidding. But mine, when we had
I was always a nervous, anxious wreck. I was never filled with joy. I was nervous and anxious.
So my wife had a C-section, and so then she's laying on the table, and they hand him to me immediately. And when they hand him to me, bro, he looked out of the womb. He looked almost exactly like my father. Like I'm getting chills thinking about it. Like he had the same nose. And I was like, I don't think I have never been that overwhelmed in my life. It's just I don't know. I couldn't believe it.
I was never filled, if I'm just being honest, with joy as much as nervousness and anxiousness, and I was overwhelmed with like.
With the first one, it was like not to get too.
I can't do this, but let's be fair.
Yeah.
It's because look, my first child looked exactly like my father. Right? His first kid don't look nothing like him. So he was handed that kid.
Wife,
Are you out of your mind?
He was handed that kid. He said, "Whose is this?"
If you take pictures of Aiden, Oliver, and Louie all at the same, if I say here's a 7-year-old Aiden, 7-year-old Oliver, 7-year-old Louie,
you think he looks the most?
They all look exactly the same.
Do they really?
You can't tell them apart.
Is that right?
You can't tell them apart. You ain't gonna Drake me. You ain't gonna Drake me. You ain't talking to Whitney right now. You ain't gonna Drake me.
Dude, Noah came out looking like an alien at first. I was, you know how their little heads look a little smushed when they first come out. I was like, damn, is he supposed to look like that?
Bennett was like, put a beard on him.
I know.
Put a beard on this kid. Let's see.
That is tough.
Put a beard on this kid.
Then it started expanding and the colors started coming out. I was like, okay, there he is. All right, we're good.
The baby said, damn it.
I knew this was gonna happen. I knew this was gonna go like that.
Here's what I said. I ain't gonna let you misquote me.
No, you
Here's
said what you said, bro.
I said, there is no scenario where I would leave.
Yes, you did.
The delivery room.
You just said Burt's overrated. You said it.
You
did.
know,
You said it. So don't try to backtrack now, bro.
I thought it was beautiful.
I thought it was. I was just nervous the whole time.
He hated it.
I was just
You
nervous
hated it.
the whole time. I would not leave.
You would choose playing in a basketball game over Birth.
I would try to do
Which
both.
is better? Which is playing in game 2 overrated? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. It's a dream. It's a dream come true.
I will say this.
It's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
It is a different conversation if it's like game 7 of the NBA Finals.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Here.
It is a different conversation.
Just so
that's where I think it would be. That's when I think that it would come to, I think that's when it becomes more difficult. But in fairness, I mean, we just saw Scottie Scheffler. I got a text the day before the final round of the Masters. We have a mutual friend who is really close with Scottie. And I said, your boy going to get it done? I was like, I think I'm going to slam this, right? I'm going to bet on it. And he said the only thing that can stop him is Meredith Scheffler. Well, because if she says, I'm going into labor, he will leave.
And
he will leave.
That's, to me, that's even tougher than the
The Masters.
You have a...
If you didn't have a green jacket yet.
You have a Sunday lead.
Right now.
At Augusta, and you walk away.
Could have happened.
Oh, yeah, it could have happened.
Real.
But here's where I'm officially at. No. If I have to pick between the experiencing the birth of a child or playing in game 2, it's not a choice. I'm staying. I'm going to experience the birth of my child. I'm just saying if there's a scenario where child's born, mom's healthy, baby's healthy, hey, if you can walk out of this room in 90 minutes, we can put you on a plane and get you to Denver in time to play tonight, I would have done that.
I tell you this. What does a guy? I'm gonna ask who's huge on our team? I guess we don't have anybody left anymore.
Yeah,
I should have asked somebody that we need to ask a center or somebody that has, real size. What or maybe just any of these NBA players. There's no way they do what we did on that friggin' this hard couch.
Oh, yeah.
With the metal on the side.
Hell no.
And it's like a hospital couch. And
you got your
you
legs
have to
hanging
sleep
off the edge
there.
of it.
And
Yeah.
Can't be Rudy
There's
Gobert.
no
sleeping on a
way an
hospital
NBA player does that, right?
I just think they're
What they do but they don't get a
They got
special place.
I bet they got a special place. I bet they got a special
How
room.
could we have gotten a special place?
Well, don't you know,
can you say I'm willing to pay any amount to not sleep on this couch? Because I would have done that.
Dude, and the worst thing
that couch
is the worst couch.
Dude, birth of child couch
right.
is one of the top 10 most uncomfortable. I would have rather slept on a park bench.
If they told me you can be here to experience the birth of your child, but you have to lay on that couch to do it, I'd be like, I'm out.
I'll play game 2.
This
is where you're getting. This is where you're getting me to your side.
I'll see you guys in Denver. I'll see you guys.
Couch sucks, man.
I'll see you guys in
There's
in
no
Denver.
way Rudy Gobert.
No,
what does he do?
No, I think
how does he sleep in?
I think gigantic people just learn to there are certain aspects of where things are catered to them. For instance, at the Westin across the street, I think there are specific rooms with larger than normal beds and higher shower heads.
There are.
Yeah.
There's a whole floor.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Nobody uses it anymore.
So that
Damn.
So they cater.
Well, we got all these new hotels.
Yeah, so they cater to them in that way. I don't know.
The hospital doesn't. What do you think they get? You have a special 7-footers room?
No, that's what I'm saying. I think you just have to deal with it. It's just like when you brought up Roy Hibbert. I work with Roy. I watch him just in his day to day.
Ask him.
What
do you do when you have a kid?
I'm gonna ask him right now.
You know what? It's Tuesdays with Tony. I'm going to ask him. He'll be on today.
All right.
He's Tuesdays with Tony. I will ask. Tony's got 2 kids.
Dumb question.
I will ask him, did he have to stay in the hospital bed like we did? There's no way.
Stay.
And then if you have to move.
I mean, Tony's 6'5".
Did y'all get moved to another room, or did you stay in the same room the whole time?
So you got to remember, mine was. I told you my wife had a C-section the first time, and we were, I mean, you're there for whatever, an extra, 3 days? I mean, you're basically recovering from surgery.
Yeah. But they move you to a different room after the birth.
I feel like we were in the same one the whole time.
Dude, when they move you to another room.
Like right down the hall from where they, they take them and they put them in the plastic bins.
Man, they moved us
You know
to.
what I mean? They're wrapped up in that white and blue towel.
The NICU, yeah.
And you can walk by and look in the window and be like, "There's this is such an odd situation."
You just
got
point
a bunch of
it,
babies in plastic bins.
Did you ever get to the point where you were like, and the names weren't good? You're like, I don't know.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
I didn't know which one is
Dude, I went there with my family, and I was like, I found it out after a few minutes. I was like, damn, I hadn't looked at him that long. Like, they take him away from me immediately. I was like, hold on, I'm not familiar yet.
It's a bunch of plastic bins filled with babies
in
a room.
How do you never mix them up?
It's so crazy.
How do you never mix them up?
For sure there's been some mixed up.
I mean, sometimes I can't even get,
For sure there's been mixed up.
Oh, there's
babies.
been mix up.
Oh, man.
There's been some mix ups.
People have
They put
raised-
the little tags on them.
People have raised the wrong baby their entire
Because of the
life.
NICU. They just put it in the wrong bin.
What a wild responsibility that is. Like, imagine that's your job. Like, Bennett, if you mess up pushing one of those buttons, it doesn't
That's
even really,
fine.
nobody
Yeah.
cares. If you mess up tagging one of these babies, you just changed everybody's live.
Yeah.
What a wild deal.
I mean, no one will ever know.
Nobody will ever know.
Yeah, it's fine.
Nobody.
What would be so funny is if I don't even want to joke. If it happened to Rudy Gobert and then like me or you was raising like some 7'5" kid, you're like, what? There's nobody. There's nobody in our entire family tree.
Nurse.
Is 7 foot.
Nurse, could you switch the tags on that?
I would have
Give me that one.
That's what we
That one's gonna be 7'5".
If you were really committed to the cause, you would impregnate your wife at the same time Mrs. Gobert gets pregnant, deliver at the same hospital, and then try to pull off some hijinks.
Damn.
Then you try to pull off hijinks and get out of there with a little Gobert.
I want that one. That one's gonna be
What if I was raising Rudy Gobert's kid?
7'5".
I would love, and he was playing competitive baseball down in DeSoto County.
Right.
Rudy Gobert's
Damn.
kid. What a wild deal!
That's for sure happened with some of these tall dudes.
I would
You
trade
know
one of
what's
I would
happening.
trade one of my kids for Rudy Gobert's kid, just like sight unseen.
Yeah,
Like what's
I mean,
behind
so,
door
dude,
number
you-
2?
you
Rudy
get-
Gobert's kid. I'll take him.
No, you get super annoyed with your kids. So I can. I mean, I don't even think. I think you would trade them for anybody.
I trade all 3 of them.
Anybody.
Package deal. I'm just trying to create some cap space.
You do it for TJ McConnell's kid.
I'm just moving contracts. I'm just trying to move contracts and create roster spots. I got to create some roster spots. I tell you,
McConnell.
I got a bunch of bad contracts. I got a bunch of bad contracts, man.
Contracts, bro.
Man.
Second apron.
I'm in the second apron. It's tough. All right. All right. I'll see you later. I can't wait till me and you sitting around and watching Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert's Hall of Fame speeches.
Oh my God.
I'm so looking forward
Give
to
me
that.
a break.
All
The
right.
Zesty Hall of Fame.
All right, that's Chris Vernon. He'll be back in the studio over there in about an hour or so, whatever. We come back. Hey, John Calipari's building the Arkansas Razorback. Got a top 25 team already. 7 players, 4 transfers, 3 high school recruits. 2 of them are the sons of former Tigers, and another one might be on the way. I'll get you updated next. Gary Parrish Show presented by Ortho South.
I moved, I have a house now, house maintenance.
That's true.
Oh, Homeowners Association.
Homeowners Association.
That was what your mom wanted to talk to me about. She was so proud that not only are you on the Homeowners Association, that you go to the meetings and know every issue.
We've had speed bump problems.
The Chris Vernon Show, presented by Caesars Sportsbook, live weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Hey Grizzlies fans, after exciting hoops and a lucky night of gaming, where do you rest your head? Look no further than Southland Casino Hotel, proud sponsor of the Memphis Grizzlies. Our high-rise hotel is the epitome of luxury and comfort. Picture this, you've just finished an evening of gaming and dining, so you head on over to one of our 300 rooms to end the night. Choose from standard suite and presidential suite, plus we're pet-friendly and offer mobility scooters for rent. It's a seamless experience for everyone. And don't miss the Main Street Exchange, right in the heart of our casino lobby. Whether you're craving a snack or need a souvenir of your stay, we've got you covered. From polo shirts to shot glasses, take a piece of the Southland excitement home with you. So come stay and play at Southland Casino Hotel, where every moment is designed for your enjoyment. Book your hotel stay by calling 833-703-3350 or visit online at southlandcasinohotel.com/hotel.
Guests must be 21 years of age or older to check in at hotel. Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Don't Worry, Be Fluffy World Tour.
The minute you get into a brand new relationship, like magic, you know who really notices just how happy you are, guys? Other women, not your woman. Look how happy he is. I bet I can change that.
Friday, May 10th, FedEx Forum. Get your tickets now at fluffyguy.com. Don't miss a Memphis Don't Worry, Be Fluffy World Tour.
Lindsey Harding has gotten a chance to interview for the Charlotte Hornets vacancy.
She's proven that she could coach on the men's side. She's done a fantastic job and got this G League opportunity and was Coach of the Year. This is fantastic for women's basketball.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizby, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either, and that's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays and the evenings and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in. And Ortho South take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's OrthoSouth at orthosouth.org. And Bennett, I got an answer to the question.
What's going on?
Vernon was wondering what super tall people like Rudy Gobert do
what's up with them?
In the delivery room, in the hospital room, when they're having babies. Do they have to sleep on those little bitty couches like the rest of us? He had already brought up Roy Hibbert. I said, let's ask Roy Hibbert.
Yeah, what did Roy say?
He said, yes, little bed. He said, I curled up in that little bed. By the fourth kid, I was bringing my pillows, eye mask, and everything. I've just learned to make it work. That's what I gather about super tall people. They just have to learn to make things work all the time.
No, you know what it is, though, too, that I didn't think about when we were talking about it? They want you, the dirty little secret, they want you out of that hospital.
That's right.
They don't want you hanging around. They want you to pop that baby out and then get out of the hospital, okay? And so they want it to be uncomfortable. They don't want you. They don't want you to have comfort. They don't want you to take a nice long nap.
In all seriousness, it is a statement on the state of our healthcare industry.
For sure.
They get you in and out of there as quickly as possible. Diana, our exchange student from Berlin that we hosted when she was, in high school. She is, she now has a baby. She's pregnant with her second child now, but she had her first child in Berlin, and she was in the. I don't want to overstate it, but it was like
days.
I mean, a week.
Yeah.
It would never even. I was like, so how long have you been in the hospital? She's like, I don't know, probably till next whatever. I was like, what? Like if you have that baby in the United States, we'll have you out tomorrow.
Dude, and that's what I was telling y'all. Like, so for our second kid, we stayed in the same room and we were out and about, I guess, 1-2 days, something like that. It was pretty quick. But Noah, we had to stay an extra day, and so they moved us to a different room. And, buddy, you don't want to be moved to the different room.
What's wrong with the different room?
It's like bare bones.
Oh, no.
I mean, you think that bed in the delivery room's little, or that couch in the delivery room's little. It ain't even a couch in the upstairs room.
Oh, no.
That's just like a glorified chair.
I'm sorry you had to go through that.
It was tough on me. I mean, my wife had to deliver a baby, but it was tough on me too.
Yeah,
Jessica, it was tough. It was tough.
Jessica points out in the chat, and it's a fair point she's making.
Uh-huh.
No matter how uncomfortable your little couch might be,
yeah,
probably more comfortable than, and these are my words, not hers.
I got it.
But, pushing a baby out of your vagina.
Yeah. I mean, but have you seen they really take care of the moms. Like they never check on dad.
Bennett said
it's all about mom.
Oh,
wow.
it is all
yeah, it's all about mom.
Is mom doing okay?
Yeah.
Dude,
what about dad?
I slept on this little bitty couch last night. Did a human come out of my vagina? No.
Like nobody came
up
there and was like, "Hey, Dad, you want a bag of chips?" Like, no, I'm just here in the background.
I remember. This is so awful, but I actually do remember getting jealous of the attention. Like I felt like I wasn't getting any attention. I just sort of. I think I remember being asked while I was in the delivery room waiting. I think I remember somebody asking, like, "Why are you pouting?" And I was just like, everybody's just so worried about. I mean, the baby ain't even here yet, and everybody's worried about the baby. And what about me? I just sit over here. Ain't nobody asked me if I need anything. My back's hurting.
Yeah, I'm on this stupid couch. Yeah,
right. At least she gets to be like
she's in a bed.
She's in a bed. First off,
yeah,
she's in a bed and on pain medicine.
And these rooms are huge. Could you not just pull another one of those beds in here? Like we could be next to each other.
Okay, what if these are your options? Now that we're in it, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Now that we're in it,
y'all
let's
got
talk
a million
about
of these
it.
beds.
You got okay. One person, I'm just going to tell you, and you tell me who you'd rather be. And we'll just let logic give us an answer about who's got it better. All right? Bennett, you can lay down on this little bitty couch that's not comfortable and doesn't fit you, or this big bed that you can turn up, turn down.
Yeah. It's got like a
pillows.
remote on it.
Which would you rather be?
The bed.
Okay. Keep score if you need to. One person is on this little bitty couch that's uncomfortable and doesn't fit. No drugs.
No drugs.
Other person in a bed, lots of drugs. Who would you rather be?
I mean, it's tough. I still think I'd probably rather be in my position.
Put me in a bed with drugs. I'll be happy.
I don't know, man.
I know myself well enough. Put me in a bed. Give me some drugs. I don't even want to leave. I'm fine right now.
I don't know, man. There's like diapers involved and stuff. Like it's.
What do you mean diapers involved?
Oh, there's like a lot going on. I don't want to get into the details.
You're on drugs. You don't care.
There's a lot going on.
You ever seen people on drugs? They don't care about anything.
I know, but there's a lot going on.
I know. That's what the drugs are for.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's not as obvious as these mothers make it out to be.
It's a fair point. That's a fair point.
I hope it's clear we're joking.
I'm not joking.
I hope it's clear I'm joking.
I'm not joking. I'm not joking.
Bennett's not joking. Bennett thinks dads deserve more attention.
Yeah.
And better.
Just bring me a bag of chips
and
a
better
Coke.
and better sleeping arrangements.
Yeah.
Yeah, like nobody was like I would even sit over in the corner and try to look distressed just to see if I could get somebody to ask me what was wrong. I'd sit over in the corner like this. Hoping somebody would just be like, well, my God, he must really be going through it. Maybe we should at least ask if he's okay. You know, nothing. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. All the attention on the mom. All the attention on the nobody cared. Bennett, I understand what you went through.
Yeah, I understand what you went through too.
It's good to be able to reach that understanding. It's good to be able to.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
I figure my days are over anyway. I'm done having kids.
Yeah, same.
Number 1.
Oh yeah, it's time for Jesus.
Hey, we got to do the carry out. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you? I thought you already introed it.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Oh, my bad.
Oh yeah. It's
oh yeah. What are we even doing?
What are we even doing?
What is happening right now?
I mean, thank God Kyra's paying attention.
Thank you, Kyra.
She's the only one paying attention.
Oh,
the rest of it
man.
is just saying outlandish stuff.
Yep.
Okay. What are we doing now? 5 more things.
Yeah, 5 more things you need to know right now.
Hit the button one more time.
Okay.
You got to get back in a rhythm.
There we are.
Got to get back in a rhythm. Arkansas is now in the top 25 and 1. John Calipari got 7 players now. 4 transfers, 3 high school prospects. 2 of the transfers have followed him from Kentucky, and 2 of the players are sons of former University of Memphis Tigers. Adu the Arrow, son of
Almami. Yeah.
Almami,
yeah.
We got to figure this out.
I thought it was Almani.
It was Almami.
Okay.
What was it? I thought it was Almani.
I went around calling him Almani.
No, you might
forever.
be right. You might be right.
All right. Thank
Almani.
God.
It was Almami.
Okay.
Almami.
Well, damn, I was calling him the wrong name his whole U of M career. My bad.
Almami. It's fine. When he was in school and I was the beat writer, it was Almami Chero. That's how we were told to pronounce it. Almami Chero.
But every one of us rednecks in Memphis just called him Thiero.
Well, now Adu, his son is Adu.
Yeah.
Chero, but he goes by Adu Thiero. And I'm wondering if we just.
Oh, it's like a Scottie Pippen thing?
I'm just wondering if we didn't Americanize his name. At some point, he was just like.
This is
just
fine.
Thiero's fine. If all of you are going to call me Thiero for the rest of, I'm just done with it. From now on, I'm going to be Adu Thiero, even though my father was Almami Chero. We deal with this with my youngest son. It's Louis, Louis.
Everybody calls him Lewis.
Oh, buddy. Yeah, he's Lewis.
Everybody calls him Lewis. Yeah.
And I think sometimes he just doesn't correct people.
Yeah.
I'll see.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, because he's just like, I'm tired of telling everybody.
Uh-huh.
It's just call me whatever you want to call me. I'm done with it.
Yeah. That's tough.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. It was predictable. I mean, I predicted it. We talked about it. Didn't matter. Think I had any say in it? Think I had any say?
No.
Nope. Almami Chero's son, Adu Thiero, has committed to Arkansas. He's following John Calipari from Kentucky to Arkansas. Billy Richmond, son of Billy Richmond, former Tiger, has also followed John Calipari. He had never played at Kentucky, but he was committed to Kentucky. He's now enrolled at Arkansas. DJ Wagner, son of former Tiger DeJuan Wagner.
We got a lot of legacy.
Is expected to visit Arkansas this weekend. Could end up playing for the Razorbacks. So let's just say DJ Wagner commits to Arkansas by this weekend. During the weekend, Arkansas would then have 8 players on its projected roster, 3 of whom are sons of former University of Memphis standouts. How about that? How about that? You're getting old. You're getting old when you start covering the sons of people you covered when they were either in high school or college. With Billy Richmond and DeJuan Wagner, I covered both of those players in high school. Almami when he got to the University of Memphis. So it's nice to see all these second generation, in some cases third generation basketball players flourishing. And if you're looking at the Arkansas roster next season and some of the last names sound familiar, if you're a Memphis fan, well, that's why, because their dads used to all play at the University of Memphis. I put Arkansas at 23rd in the top 25 and 1.
Yeah, I mean, we knew he was going to put together a roster.
Yeah, they added Janelle Davis from Florida Atlantic. You'll remember him. So he's put together a roster of the Louisville, Kentucky, Arkansas. Like those 3 schools are kind of connected. Like they all got new coaches. They're all big brands. Right now, I think John's got the best roster of the 3. Kentucky, pretty good, and Louisville slightly behind them. But yeah, we always knew John Calipari, armed with a big NIL bag of money, was going to be able to get a roster put together. And so he might not end up filling all 13 scholarships. Again, it's May 7th, and he only has 7 players committed right now. But as long as they get to 9 or 10, like in college basketball, that's enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming they'll get to 9 or 10. DJ Wagner could be the next.
Number 2.
Shedeur Sanders, son of Deion Sanders, Coach Prime. Obvious quarterback prospect, now projected to be the number 1 overall pick in the 2025 NFL draft. But one NFL executive told the Washington Post yesterday that, contrary to what most believe, if Shedeur Sanders would have been in this draft, he would have been the number 1 pick ahead of Caleb Williams. Do you believe that?
Okay, their numbers aren't that far off. Like when you look at their numbers from last season, they're really not that far off. Like Shedeur Sanders had 27 touchdowns, Caleb Williams had 30. Shedeur had less turnovers than Caleb Williams did. But I don't know. I don't think I believe that. I don't think he would have been picked over Caleb
Neither
Williams.
do I. You want to know why I don't believe it? Nobody said it before the draft.
Right.
And Deion Sanders is on record saying we want Shedeur to be the number 1 pick in the draft, so he's not going to go this year.
Yeah.
Even Deion Sanders.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Even Deion Sanders didn't think his son was going to be the first pick in the draft. And Deion Sanders is a very confident person in both himself and his son.
Yeah.
So if Deion Sanders didn't even think his son would be picked ahead of Caleb Williams, I don't believe his son would have been picked ahead of Caleb Williams. And given that nobody was saying this, like this wasn't back up 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, nobody was having a debate on TV about should Shedeur Sanders enter the draft, because if he does, he would be the number 1 pick in the draft. That wasn't a real thing that was happening. So why is it a real thing a week after the draft?
Okay.
I call funny business.
This is insane because I knew you were going to talk about this, and so I was looking at their numbers from last season. So Caleb Williams had 97 carries for 136 rushing yards and 11 rushing touchdowns last season. Shedeur Sanders, I had to refresh it. 111 carries for negative 77 rushing yards.
Well, he was running.
He was running away.
He was
yeah,
running for his
that's
life.
right.
He
That's
was
right.
running for his life half the time.
It's just when you see that, you're like, what? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think he'll be a top pick, but no, I mean Caleb Williams. That's the thing is Caleb Williams. It's not like he even had this amazing season last year. It was just kind of decided before, like this is the dude right here. This is the best quarterback.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I call nonsense.
I'm calling nonsense.
I'm labeling that nonsense.
Yeah.
I think it's nonsense.
I think it is too, but I bet he'll be picked in the top 5.
No, he will be the number 1 pick next year's draft.
Do you think he will?
That's what people think.
Someone will pass him.
Would you be concerned about Deion Sanders drafting Deion Sanders' kid?
No, I wouldn't. Mm-mm.
I wouldn't either.
I think it's just gonna all depend on who gets that top pick, really.
I think he. Forget what I think. What do I know? I'm not. Do I look like Mel Kiper? I hope not. You know.
I'd like to be Mel.
I'm not
got
Mel
a
Kiper.
good life, yeah.
I'm not Mel Kiper. So what do I know? But what I'm telling you is that people like Mel Kiper think Shedeur Sanders will be the number 1 pick in next year's draft. The question was, would he have been the number 1 pick in this year's draft over Caleb Williams? And even though one NFL executive says yes, I say no. I say it's nonsense. I'm calling nonsense.
All right.
Number 3.
Security guard was shot at Drake's home, middle of the night, out front. It's a drive-by shooting, Bennett. Have things escalated?
I don't know.
Is this connected to the rap wars?
But if everyone acknowledges that Drake lost, that Drake's on the losing side of the rap wars,
That certainly.
then why would you double down and go shoot up his house?
I don't know.
Like, that's kind of mean.
It is mean to
God.
start shooting his house.
Yeah.
After you just called him a pedophile.
Yeah. I mean, that's
on the number 1 song in the world. Did you see Not Like Us is the most streamed hip-hop song in the history of one day. It broke all the records.
Dang.
The most streamed hip-hop song in one day in history is a banger about you being a pedophile. That's Drake's life right now, and his security guard got shot in the middle of the night. It's a rough time to be Drake, don't you think?
Yeah, I would lean more towards he's probably got a really nice house with a lot of expensive things inside, and so people want to get in there and take those things.
Why didn't want to do that 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago?
Well, it's a good point. I mean, this is
get caught a pedophile over the weekend. 2 days later, pop! Somebody shooting a security guard outside your house. Bullet to the upper chest. Serious condition.
Damn.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
Like it's a real thing. And it's already like
the timing's interesting.
The timing is interesting. Meantime, in London, did you see this? They have an OVO store. OVO.
I saw it.
OVO. They have an OVO store in London. Do you see what happened?
What happened?
They spray painted on it.
What?
They not like us.
Damn.
OVO.
Wow.
It's tough.
Wow.
Drake, man, he's going through it a little bit.
He'll be
right
all
now.
right. He'll be all right.
What do you think's going on? Like, all jokes. Drake been living in his house for a minute.
Yeah.
All right? People know where his house is for a while. It's like asking somebody in Memphis, where is Graceland? Like, everybody knows where Drake's house is.
Yep.
Right? Kendrick found it on Google Maps and put a bunch of
What did he do?
registered sex offenders.
Oh, come on.
Did you not see that?
No.
You know, like if you go to, have you ever done this?
No, you can search. Yeah, you can search for like the sex offenders in your
And it'll
area,
pop
right?
up. Like
yeah.
if a sex offender lives 7 houses down, it'll put a little thing on it and be like,
Yeah.
there's a weirdo down here.
Yeah, right.
You know? So like, yeah, that was the cover art for Not Like Us. Drake's house with a bunch of those little things all over it.
It's creative.
Okay, so everybody's known where his house is at for a while. Nobody been driving around shooting security guards until last night. Why is it just happening now, Bennett? I think it might be connected, but I don't know.
I'm going to say coincidence.
Ugh.
I'm going to say coincidence. I hope the security guard recovers.
Me too.
Did they catch the person, by the way? No.
But they do have surveillance video of it. Look at that. That's the cover art.
Damn. Come on. That is wrong.
What is going on?
That is so wrong.
Boy, imagine you're Drake. 1 minute you are the biggest thing in the world, and the
Yeah.
next minute everybody's calling you a pedophile and dancing.
That's rough, dude.
That's a hell of a plot twist
rough.
on you.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a plot twist on you.
That's rough.
Tough week for Canadians. First Drake and then Jamal Murray.
It is a tough week for Canada.
This is not a great week for
No,
Canada.
it's not a great week. Like I said, they got Shea tonight, so he can.
I wouldn't want to be him. These things happen in threes.
They do happen in threes.
Drake dies, then Jamal Murray dies.
What game are we picking tonight?
Oh, that one.
Okay.
I'm now actively rooting against Canadians, but not Kelsey.
Are you? Oh, I'll root against her too.
Has she weighed in on this? Is she?
No, she's been awfully quiet
she's
about
been
all
awfully
this. She's
quiet.
been really quiet about all this.
We
yeah.
got one Canadian running around the office.
Yeah.
She's been awfully quiet. You know?
Interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah,
That's
interesting.
That's an interesting development we've spotted.
Yeah, that's interesting. We're gonna have to get an official statement. We're gonna have to get an official statement.
We have to get her in here and get an official statement. Anyway, Drake's security guard got shot in the chest.
Enough said.
Enough said.
Number 4.
Shohei Ohtani hit another home run last night. Did you see it?
I saw it,
My
dude.
God.
Yeah.
I thought
his arm was messed up.
Oh, buddy, that won't prevent you from swinging a bat.
I guess not.
It'll just prevent you from throwing a cutter.
Yeah.
But it won't prevent you from...
I thought that was all interconnected.
Yeah, I don't know how the
I don't
arm
know
works.
how that works.
I'm not. Do I look like a doctor? Do I look like Mel Kiper?
Because like my shoulder hurts, but like it like hurts down here now. Like I feel like I don't understand how that works.
Body's weird, man. Sometimes you can just do stuff, and then other times you just can't do other stuff, you know? Body's weird like that, Bennett. So Shohei Ohtani, he can't pitch, but he can hit, and boy, did he hit last night. Kyra, do we have this? Let's let the folks see Shohei Ohtani blast a ball into dead center field. It really did. It sounded like a shotgun.
Yeah.
It sounds different coming off of his bat. Like if you were
Let's
sitting...
hear it again because it was just at the very beginning.
Listen to this. Let's watch him come down these bases.
Oh, he's going to run the bases
Do you
first.
think,
Look at
Shohei?
him. He's in a better place.
He's in a better place. He got that scoundrel away from him who was stealing all his money. Got them snakes out of his grasp, didn't it? You know? Watch, listen to what this sounds like. When normal people hit a bait, did the announcer you realize that play-by-play guy, this is what he does for a living. He sits in ballparks and he watches baseball games and he describes what he's seeing. All right? He hears the bat and the ball
all the time.
That's all he hears.
Yep.
He knows what it's supposed to sound like. He knows what it sounds like. And when he heard that, you know what he said? My God, that was different. They don't usually sound like this. It's the same thing in golf. You get out there with a professional, like a PGA Tour guy, like one of the big hitters. You could go play golf every day this week and then go out there and sit with Roy McIlroy, and it just sounds different. Obviously looks different, but sounds different. Just how do you make that noise?
Yeah.
I've got a golf club just like you. I've got a golf ball just like you. I cannot make that noise. How do you make that noise? That's Shohei Ohtani.
Mm-hmm.
We could all stand. Other professional baseball players could stand in that box with a bat. They can't make it sound like that. He might be special.
I think he's special. Let him throw some pitches.
Bennett says, I'll believe it.
If he can do that, I mean, come on, dude.
Bennett, I think we've been through this before. I don't know exactly why, because I'm not a doctor.
Uh-huh.
Nor am I Mel Kiper.
Uh-huh.
But I just know that doctors have looked into this, and they have determined that after having an elbow procedure, you can swing a bat much earlier than you can throw a baseball. And that is where Shohei Ohtani finds himself right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to trust the doctor.
I'll trust him too.
I'll trust him too. I'm just going to trust that if there was a way to get Shohei Ohtani to pitch before next season, they would have figured that out.
Right.
But they can't figure it out. But, buddy, he can still hit it, can he?
Man, he crushed that thing.
It sounded like a shotgun.
Yeah, it did.
I don't even know if it actually sounded like a shotgun. I don't really know what a shotgun sounds like.
It definitely did not sound like a shotgun.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know what a shotgun sounds like.
It's way louder.
Way louder?
If a shotgun would have been shot inside that stadium, it would have been way louder than that.
That would have been dangerous.
Yeah.
That would have been really dangerous.
Yeah.
I don't know what a shotgun sounds like, but I imagine.
It was a good line, though.
It was a good line.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it was factually correct. It was a good line. I appreciated the line.
Number 5.
We have a real-life Dateline episode unfolding in South Carolina. They're wild in South Carolina.
Something's in the water.
Something's in the water.
Yeah.
They're always doing something over in South
I
Carolina.
know, man. Something's going on.
I'm glad we got Ja out of there before it was too late.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
and
saying?
Gigi.
And Gigi.
Yeah.
Thank God we got them out of that place.
Get them away from the Murdoch family.
Who knows what they'd be involved in they stayed in South Carolina.
Yeah.
My God, you got the Murdoch family. And now you got Micah Miller. You familiar with Micah Miller?
No.
Okay. Beautiful young woman.
Okay.
Whole life ahead of her. 30 years old. She's dead now.
Oh,
okay.
damn.
Her husband's a pastor.
Okay.
Okay. And he's just like continuing to pastor.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the way you say that. He continues to get up.
Preach.
He preaches.
Yeah.
Okay, his wife died late last month. He's just been preaching, just like preaching.
Mm-hmm.
He came up on Sunday and he announced to the world, hey, just say, by the way, it's like, it would be like he was doing a whole show and then he got the GP's carryout.
Yeah.
And it was like, what did we learn today? He's sort of wrapping up things.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, oh, by the way, meant to tell y'all, my wife's dead. And everybody's like, oh, no, what's? And he says it was self-inflicted. My wife took her own life.
Mm.
Oh, no. So sad. Okay? Because it is, right?
Yeah.
Here's the problem. Micah Miller, before her death, had filed for divorce. Okay? She had publicly, like on social media, expressed her fears of leaving her marriage, but how she wanted to be an example for all other women in abusive relationships, that you can be strong enough and leave. And you can even leave a man who everybody else holds up in high regard.
Okay.
She was very clearly saying, my husband's a pastor, people respect him, but they don't know him. And they don't know what he's doing.
Okay.
And they don't know who he really is, and they don't know what he's been doing to me. But I'm leaving this man because he is an abusive husband. Okay?
All right.
She told her sister, if I end up shot in the hand, just know that my husband did this. I am scared he is going to kill me. Okay? Then she ends up dead. All right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is easy.
Yep.
Except the autopsy report is back. The investigators have ruled, and do you know what they ruled?
Suicide.
Self-inflicted gunshot wound. So this guy is out there still just living his life as the husband of a woman who tragically took her own life. But all of the evidence, just circumstantial, I guess, but there's a whole lot of stuff that suggests he might have been involved. But the investigators are saying,
what do you want us to do?
The wound is consistent with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. What are we doing, Bennett? What do you think?
I mean, if I was going to play devil's advocate and you're suicidal and you hate this man and you hate your life and I'm not saying I believe this. I'm not saying I believe this, but I'm saying if she did in fact take her own life and she hated this dude and that's like one of the reasons she did it, wouldn't you want to bring him down?
Buddy, that's evil.
You know what I'm saying though?
Isn't that what Gone Girl did?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I'm leaning more towards. Maybe we should open this up as a homicide investigation.
We might want to look into this a
I
little
think
bit
we want to
more.
look into this a little bit deeper. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I feel
That's
like
all
I
I'm saying.
wouldn't mind looking into this a little bit more. Because think about fella here. Buddy, if he didn't kill her, this is the worst luck ever.
Right.
I mean, your wife files for divorce. She's telling the whole world you beat her.
Mm-hmm.
She tells her sister, like the quote was actually, if I end up with a bullet in my head, know that he did it. All right? And then she ends up with a bullet in her head. If you ain't involved, that's the worst luck ever.
I agree.
If you ain't involved, oh, man, that's awful. Because you should be mourning the tragic loss of your estranged wife, and instead you got the whole world looking at you like you're a murderer.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't fun. I'd almost rather be Drake.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
Than that.
Yep.
On the other hand, buddy, what's the most obvious explanation here? Your wife files for divorce, tells the whole world you're a scumbag, tells her sister, if I end up with a bullet in my head, this is the guy who did it, and then you end up with a bullet in your head. Isn't the most logical explanation? Well, the guy that she thought was going to kill her probably did.
That's what I would think.
I feel like we need to look into this a little bit more.
I think we should definitely. But I mean, what are you going to do?
What a huge sigh of relief, though, if you're this fella and they come back and say, looks like self-inflicted gunshot wound. You're probably like, whoo.
Thank God.
Thank God. Right? Right? Is it Bennett, do you think it's possible? I don't know nothing about guns. Do you think it's possible to create what appears to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound?
I'm sure it is.
How would you do it?
I'm sure it's been done.
Could you do it? Do you think you could do it?
Oh, I mean,
could you shoot me in the head and make it look like I did it myself?
I mean,
how would you do that?
I don't know, but listen, if his fingerprints aren't on anything and her fingerprints are, you know, that's how you do it.
Okay, so like let's for the sake of the conversation say that they just settle. It's a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and we're done here.
Mm-hmm.
That guy got to walk around the rest of his life, everybody thinking he's OJ.
I know.
Isn't that a weird thing?
It is.
Do you see this other fella?
No.
There's another fella who killed. It looked like he killed his wife. I heard this story a long time ago.
Okay.
Wife disappeared, and he was like, "Wife disappeared," and they charged him with murder, and then the case fell apart, and it was like mistrial, and he's never been recharged. It's just sort of been sitting there for 4 years. All right. The autopsy report just came back. I don't know why it took this long. They didn't find her body for like 3 years.
Okay.
Then they find the skeletal remains, and they were able to do some sort of, they pulled something from that. Anyway, it just came back. So this guy is still raising his daughters, and he was a suspect, obviously, but ultimately the trial fell apart, and he's a free man. He's just living his life. Then they find the skeletal remains. They do everything they can do. Came back. You know what they found? That she was drugged with tranquilizers before her death. All right?
Oh, wow.
Okay. Well, that's not the way a random murder would happen, right? Okay. You know what else they found in the house when they were searching it 4 years ago?
Tranquilizers.
Right. So now this guy's like, they had a memorial service for the woman on Sunday. And he showed up. And everybody's looking at him like, yo, man, we know you killed her. Like tranquilizers, dude. They found tranquilizers. When they first found this guy.
Nobody just has tranquilizers sitting around.
Oh, yeah. And it wasn't just sitting around. It was like behind the washing machine.
Right.
All right. One of those deals. He also had cuts on his hands. So we found tranquilizers in your house, cuts on your hands, your wife's skeletal remains, and it's clear to us now that she was tranquilized before her death. You did this, buddy.
Yeah.
But they haven't charged him yet, and he's just living his life, showing up at
That's crazy.
The world's nutty, isn't it?
The world is wild.
People are wild out there, man.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just a wild situation.
I know, dude.
Everywhere.
I know. All right.
Let's settle these. Tranquilized husband. Guilty, right?
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
You belong.
Nobody has tranquilizers.
Nobody has tranquilizers.
Why would you ever need tranquilizers?
Unless you're trying to murder.
Yeah. I mean, do you own like a ranch or
You
something?
own a ranch.
Yeah, stop.
You either own a ranch or you're murdering.
Yeah.
Okay? So you're going to jail forever, as you should. And then this pastor, what do we think?
Man, I'm leaning towards that he might have something to do with it.
He's a killer,
this.
I think.
I'm leaning towards he might have something, but I could be swayed.
I think he's a killer. I think these are both killers. I think we're discussing two killers right now.
I think you might be right.
Yeah.
I think you might be right.
Yeah. I hope they get what they deserve.
I do too.
And do you know what they deserve? A night's sleep.
Justice.
A night's sleep on a small hospital bed.
You're damn right.
Be back with GP's carry out.
You think Gigi's a lot better than you were at the same age?
Yeah. The dude did a
step
back double cross and went by somebody and dunked it. He's pulling it from 4-point line. Like, he's right though. I mean, there was a time in camp when he was like, less of what you're seeing, and that's just because his legs were gone because we're doing all this running, and then we got to play. Like, he doesn't know like the game isn't going to be like this.
The Chris Vernon Show, presented by Caesars Sportsbook, live weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
There's no substitute for experience, the knowledge gained from having been there before, and the passion to share what you know to make everyone around you better.
It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
LifeCare Ambulance is proud to be an official partner of the Memphis Grizzlies and FedEx Forum. At LifeCare, they wear their hearts with pride. Their passion is their people. They want you to love what you do and where you do it. Their employee-driven culture encourages a healthy work-life balance and supportive work environment. They invest in your success and well-being so that you can provide the best care for the patients that they serve. Join the incredible team of EMTs and paramedics in Memphis, Nashville, and across the nation today. Learn more at lifecareamb.com.
Don't Worry, Be Fluffy World Tour.
The minute you get into a brand new relationship, like magic, you know who really notices just how happy you are, guys? Other women, not your woman. Look how happy he is. I bet I can change that.
Friday, May 10th, FedEx Forum. Get your tickets now at fluffyguy.com. Don't miss a Memphis Don't Worry, Be Fluffy World Tour.
Nate Bargatze, the Be Funny Tour.
I mean, Chuck E. Cheese is rough. I don't know if you've been there in a while. They look like they're trying to go to business and they can't.
All new material.
They filed for bankruptcy and they're still open. They called Blockbuster and they're like, how do you get out? We want out.
Nate Bargatze. Friday, May 31st, FedEx Forum. Tickets available at FedEx Forum box office or Ticketmaster.com. Produced by Outback Presents Nate Bargatze, the Be Funny Tour.
Parrish Show presented by Ortho South. We're inside the Built Ford Tough Studio. Let's wrap this thing up. Get out of here with GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we learn today?
A whole bunch of stuff, but I think the most important thing, Bennett, I don't want to misquote you like Vernon did me seven different times in the span of 1 minute. 7 different times in the span of 1 minute.
Yeah.
He's like, I didn't say that. Nope, I didn't say that.
Damn.
I speak for a living, very deliberate, picking my words. I know what I'm doing. I don't want to misquote you like Vernon did me 7 times. I think you said childbirth's overrated and mothers have it better than people realize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I don't, like, if you want to expand on that, I'll give you an opportunity right now.
It's just, it appears to be, I wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know.
But it seems like they got it good in those hospitals.
They get a bed, we get a couch.
Yep. They get those good ice, the good ice.
They get the good ice.
The Sonic ice.
Yeah. We don't get that.
We don't get that.
We have to
I mean,
we have to
I
walk
guess
down.
we could have
We have to go
some, too.
look for like a Mountain Dew machine. I wonder where I could get a Mountain Dew. That's what we're doing.
They get the nurse always coming in and being like, hey, Mom, how you doing, Mom?
How we feeling? Feeling fine. I'm on drugs. You just got drugs right into my IV.
You need some more drugs, Mom?
You need some more drugs, Mom? Meanwhile, we're over there not on drugs, not in the
sitting
bed.
on an awful couch.
All right. If you walked into somebody's house and you said, hey, show me around. You ever walked into somebody's house and they want to show you around?
Yes.
First off, do you do that?
No.
Is that appropriate to be showing people around?
No. I mean, I
It
think
feels
it's
like
fine.
It
feels like you're showing off.
It feels like you're bragging a little bit. You know? I don't want to show people around. I want you to experience my home at your own pace.
Yeah.
However you feel like it.
I agree.
I don't feel like I need to show you my kitchen.
Feels like you're showing off.
I feel like I'm showing off. Oh, hey, have you seen my kitchen? Come look at this. Feels like you're showing off a little bit.
Yep.
I don't want to show people my house. I want them to experience however I don't want to feel like that's my responsibility. What am I, a tour guide? If I want to be a tour guide, I go work at Graceland.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to my home. Look around if you want to. If you don't, that's fine too. I don't really care. All right?
Mm-hmm.
But just for the sake of the conversation, you're at somebody's home and they want to show you around. And you were like, ooh, you were into it. And you were like, oh, wow, where do you sleep? And they were like, right here. And they pointed to like a little bitty couch that looks uncomfortable. That's where you sleep? Yeah. Oh, where's your wife sleep? Oh, here, let me show you. Big bed. Can go up, can go down. Got our television remote control connected to it. Everything, right? All right.
Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. So, like, what do you guys do? You know, to pass the time? I just sit here on this little couch sober, watching a TV that's not even in HD.
Right.
Well, what does she do? She sits in her big glorious bed. She's high.
Yeah.
She's high as hell.
With good ice chips.
And she's got great ice chips, and she's in control of the remote control. If I told you all this stuff, you'd be like, I'd rather be her than you. But if you then say, okay, I just described a hospital delivery room to you, people are a little hesitant to say, I'd rather be her than you. But then I'm glad you were able to bring this to light, you know?
Just looking out for the dads out there.
Yeah, you know, we go through childbirth too, not in the same way, but it's an experience for us as well. But we have to do it without the bed, without the drugs, and without the ice.
Yeah.
People don't talk about this enough.
No. No, they don't.
Can't wait till Friday. We'll see what Jessica thinks about this.
Can't wait.
What's today's biggest game?
Oh, Bennett, we're in the NBA playoffs tonight, buddy. And I'm taking you to Oklahoma City.
Okay.
It's the Mavericks and the Thunder. Game 1, Western Conference semifinals. We're doing it in the Paycom Center.
What's Paycom? Sounds like some kind of phone systems. I bet it's phone systems.
It's a software company.
Okay.
It empowers employees.
Oh, God, they never tell you what it is. Any company like that, it's always
it looks
like
it's payroll. It's payroll.
Okay.
If you have a business, you might use Paycom to handle your payroll.
Okay. I swear, when it's something like that, you go to the website and it's like, it's never just like, here's what we do. It's always like grinding forth to make the world a better place.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing. Just tell me what you do. Tell me what you do. We're all trying to make the world a better place in our own way. Tell us specifically what you do. I guess this is the point. There's two idiots sitting around getting ready for a basketball game tonight. Somebody says it's going to be in Paycom Center. And then somebody else says, wonder what Paycom is. Next thing you know, we're Googling Paycom.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, we know. Now I know.
That's how these things work.
If I wanted to start my own payroll, I might use Paycom to do that.
Yeah.
We're in the Paycom Center tonight. Oklahoma City's a 3.5-point favorite.
Oh.
Your total's 218.5.
Oh.
It's been a bad week for Canadians.
We have acknowledged that.
Drake took a beating.
Yep.
Security guard got shot middle of the night.
Yep.
All right.
His store in London got vandalized.
They not like us.
Yep.
OV ho. OV ho. All right. Then last night, Jamal Murray, 3 of 18 from the field. Another Canadian getting embarrassed by an American.
And like you said, these things come in threes.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, known Canadian.
Well-known Canadian at this point.
Well-known Canadian.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving, American. Conspiracy theorist American, our most perfect American.
Yeah.
Like, if you're looking for the best representation of an American these days, it probably is Kyrie Irving, if we're being honest, right?
I think I'll take the Mavs. I think I'll take Luka, Kyrie, and the Dallas Mavericks.
You're really just taking the non-Canadians. We're just picking against Canadians at this point.
Yep.
In life, you need to be able to recognize trends and patterns. There's a trend and pattern that I recognize, and that's that Canadians are getting the shit smacked out of them these days.
Yeah.
It's been rough for Canadians, all right? Drake all weekend. Jamal Murray on Monday. And now Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on Tuesday. That's my fear.
I fear that
my
too.
Fear.
That's
my fear for Canadians.
That's why I'm going Mavs.
We're going Mavs. Not because we believe in Luka over Chet, but because
I believe in Luka over Chet.
And I was just trying to set up a
I got you.
Just saying stuff.
Yeah.
For dramatic effect.
Yep.
Doesn't matter if it makes sense or not. It's not that we necessarily believe in Luka over Chet. It's not just that we believe in Jason Kidd over the reigning NBA Coach of the Year. Because I'm not sure that we do. But do you know what we believe in right now in this moment in time?
Canada's going through it.
It's not that we believe in anything as much as we believe in Canada's going through it.
Yep.
We don't believe in Canadians right now. We say this respectfully
No.
to Kelsey, but we don't believe in Canadians right now. They never gave us nothing to believe in. Kendrick said it. Mavericks roll, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Just a bad week to be a Canadian. I'm sure Canadians will come back. I'm sure Canadians will have a comeback, right?
Yep.
But it ain't this week. This ain't the
It's
week
not
for it.
this week.
This is not the week for it.
What are we watching on TV?
Do Vanderpump Rules tonight?
We're getting close to the reunion, and then it's supposedly explosive. They had a little teaser trailer the other night.
7 o'clock on Bravo tonight.
Yeah.
We have a brand new episode.
Mm-hmm.
What should we be expecting?
Secrets will be revealed.
Oh, wow. Who?
No, I don't know.
Who?
I don't know. They're all out there.
I saw Lala.
Uh-huh.
Is she pregnant?
No.
Who's the one that's pregnant?
Is she pregnant?
I think Lala's pregnant.
She's not on this season.
Oh, come on, Bennett.
She
How
was
do I
trying
know
to get
about-
pregnant, though. She was trying to get pregnant.
Well, I know how you do it. I know how to do it.
Yeah,
I
and
could-
she
I
was
could get-
actually
I could get people pregnant.
and she was
I've done
using
that.
a sperm donor. So yeah, she might actually be pregnant now. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Bennett, how do I know more about this than you do?
See, I don't like knowing what's going on in their lives right now, so I can watch the show and find out like on the show.
I understand.
You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
Yeah.
I saw Lala. I think she's pregnant. Anyway, 7 o'clock tonight on Bravo.
I'll be there.
You don't sound as excited as I thought you'd be.
This season has not been amazing. It's they got problems, but apparently the reunion's gonna pull back the curtain a little bit, and we're gonna get the hype all back.
Hey,
yeah.
I hope so. For
I'll
your
be
sake-
there. I'll be there.
For your sake, I hope you're right.
Yeah.
I hope you're right.
What's the best thing we've read?
Oh, did you read about Giselle? She's deeply disappointed. She's deeply disappointed.
Oh, about the roast.
Yeah. She's deeply disappointed.
Uh huh.
Would you be deeply disappointed if you were Giselle? I can actually understand how you would pick up the phone and call Tom Brady after that was all over and say, our kids
could see that.
Our kids are listening to people joke about me sleeping with my karate teacher, and you're sitting on stage laughing about it. In what world do you think this is okay? I can totally understand that.
Yeah.
You say, hey, I get it, it's a roast, but I'm going to turn into Giselle for a minute. You ready? I'm talking to Tom Brady right now. This is what I would say. Hey, Tom, I realize the whole reason we're in this situation to begin with is because you didn't understand how to put your family first. All right? But just know that what most normal people would do is like when you are going through such a high-profile divorce, and you and I both know this has been hard on all of us, to then agree to do this, to put yourself on a stage and allow me, the mother of your children, to be the butt of these jokes when I'm just trying to hold our family together in this way and protect our children, and you're up there drinking on stage and laughing at my expense. I'm deeply disappointed in you. What do you think of that? How do you respond to that, Tom Brady?
It's a roast.
But why put our family in that situation?
It is interesting that he went to Robert Kraft's defense very early in the thing and didn't defend her once when they talked about her banging the karate instructor.
Deeply disappointed. Wouldn't you be? I would be.
I can understand her being
I
pissed
totally
off.
get it. I
Yeah,
totally
I
get
get it too. I get it too.
I wondered so much that, like, if this is one of those things they agreed to do a long time ago and the divorce has gotten a little nasty. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. She was literally photographed crying just publicly last week.
Yeah.
All right? She's like, life is, I know she's beautiful and they're all rich. And
Yeah,
but, like,
sure.
life's been hard. Like, divorces are hard, particularly ones with children. So I totally get how you could say, listen, Tom, we're divorced. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. If you want to go bang Bradley Cooper's ex, go bang Bradley Cooper's ex. But for you to agree in this time to subject our family to these relentless jokes, really, I'm deeply disappointed. I understand that. I wonder if he didn't agree a lot. This is what I thought. Maybe they agreed to this a long time ago, and then it's like, it's here, but man, my life is kind of.
Yeah.
So joke about me not retiring, whatever. Joke about my plastic surgery. Joke about whatever you want to joke about. Can we please, for the sake of this, like I can't. My ex-wife cannot be involved in this. And I know that runs counter to every rose.
Right.
But this is a really delicate situation right now, and I can't deal with this. If you're telling me people are going to make jokes about my ex-wife and her karate instructor, I can't sit there because that is the mother of my children, and my children are going to be watching, or they'll see it the way the rest of the world sees it. And I don't want my children seeing people make fun of their mother, and that's what this is.
Yeah, I get it.
Unless he really wants the mother of his children to be made fun of because he hates her.
I think there's some hatred going on there. Yeah. I mean, she wasn't there.
She wasn't there.
Yeah.
And like Demi Moore showed up at Bruce Willis's roast.
That's right.
Exes have been supportive in these
In
things.
these roasts.
Pamela Anderson showed up at Tommy Lee's.
Right.
Giselle was not there. Even Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft showed up.
That's right.
Even Drew Bledsoe showed up. Giselle didn't show up.
Yeah.
It's unsurprising to me that she's deeply disappointed.
Of course, I get it.
I understand.
Yeah.
And I'm not even saying she's wrong.
Right.
I'm just saying it's possible that during the delivery of those children, Bennett would have thought Tom Brady had it harder than Giselle.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
That's
Now,
right.
You can read about it. One article. It's at awfulannouncing.com.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Tomorrow's Wednesday. Oh, I can't wait for Wednesday. That's Mike Wallace.
Yeah, he'll be here.
Be looking back at the NBA playoffs, looking ahead to the NBA playoffs. Somebody else could get shot.
Likely.
What a time, man.
Yep.
At least we're not Canadian. You know?
That's right.
Gotta hold on to whatever you can hold on to in times like these, Bennett. At least we're not Canadian.
Yep.
It's gonna work out for us. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll enjoy mine. We'll be back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.